Here comes a new challenger!
Hello there everyone, and welcome to a video in which we're going to be discussing Choose Your Legends 5, and well, what does it all mean, and my opinions on Choose Your Legends round 5 this time around. So let's talk about the actual event itself before we get onto the midterm results. Now, in terms of this year compared to last year, there was a big whole botting issue, and the reason why it was an issue was because a character named George showed up to Feheroes as a playable unit, but it was chosen because he was the most popular character that wasn't in the game present yet. And George, he didn't really win based off of, well, legitimate votes. You see, before Choose Your Legends, you needed to just vote. You didn't need your Nintendo account or whatever. The Nintendo account just gave you bonuses. Small bonuses, but bonuses. So therefore, you could vote without using an account. However, they changed that now where you need a Nintendo account to vote. So you cannot vote unless you have a Nintendo account. Well, that makes sense. I don't know why they didn't do that prior, but here we are. Now, the way Choose Your Legends works, for those who don't know, is that every year the top 2 male and females go and get a unique ult just for them. And the winners of previous years can no longer obtain an ult. Such as an example, here we have, obviously, Ike, Lynn, Roy, Lucina, Ephraim, Celica, Veronica, Hector, Micaiah, Elliot, and Camilla, Dimitri, Edelgard, Claude, and Lysithia. You cannot vote for them anymore. You cannot also vote for Ike's Radiant Dawn version, Hector's Binding Blade version, Elliot's Binding Blade version, or Master Marth. So you cannot vote for their alternates. Under special conditions, however, and we'll get into that. So here's the website, and of course I'm going to show you my battle ballot lastly, before we move on to this part. But my battle ballot is pretty clear. Let's go to the home page. So this is the home page, right? And we click on that. You can have a random selection, but let's choose by game title. So by game title, you have various options. You have the first game, the second game, third game, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10, technically 13, 14, 15, or whatever, 15, not 16, even though it doesn't really count, but I like to count it because it's funny. And 3 houses, which has 2 different versions. You either have the Academy arc and the War arc, basically pre-time skip, post-time skip. Makes sense? All right, so you have the option out of all of those games. All right, now when you select one, you go through whatever, right? You pick the character you want, say Cord for instance, you choose this here or whatever. Now, because the units from this title, a lot of them also appear in this game, when you vote for, say, Abel here, it tallies it for Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light / just Shadow Dragon. So when you vote for Abel there, you also vote for Abel here. So they tally the votes up together. The only difference between voting one version over the other is which version it's based on. So as an example, Ike, Path of Radiance Ike won, right? So when you look at Brave Ike, for instance, Brave Ike is based off of Path of Radiance, not Radiant Dawn, if that makes sense. So whichever version wins, well, gets the special ult. A better example would be using 3 houses. Say for instance, here we have the Byleths, they're right here. If female Byleth Enlightened wins instead of this one, then the Choose Your Legends ult will be based off this version, not that version, if that makes sense. So hopefully you got that clear. And this also goes for the pre-time skip version. Say, you wanted Bernadetta, but instead the version of Bernadetta we got was this one. Well, then it will be this one that you'll see the special ult of. Make sense? Okay, good. So with that all being said, now that you know the rules, do they break their own rules? Well, yes, indeed they do. All right, I'm gonna get to some spoilers here, but let's just say, as an example, Edelgard won, obviously. However, there is a character from 3 houses that is also Edelgard. I'm not gonna say who, but that version of the character is still Edelgard. Now, Mass Marth, who is Lucina, who's masquerading as Marth, that is taken out of the running. Yet the character who Edelgard is being doesn't. Another example, and this one I don't really care about spoiling because like she's literally out and done, is let's see, Kronya. If you choose Kronya, you choose Kronya. However, there is a character by the name of Scarlet, I believe. Is she here? Oh no, Monica. Sorry, Monica, who is also Kronya in disguise. All right, same character, but because they're technically not the same, you know, as a disguise or whatever, they keep it separated. Okay, another good example. Let's head over to Path of Radiance. And here we have the Black Knight. Now, if you play Heroes, you already know who the Black Knight is, because they literally put an ult of that character wearing the armor without his helmet. They literally spoil it for you, and despite the fact that now you know who the Black Knight is, when you go to vote for the Black Knight, the only votes that are counted together are the Black Knight from Radiant Dawn. So despite knowing who the Black Knight is, for whatever reason, you can't, it won't tally them all up together, which means that you either have to vote for the Black Knight or the person he truly is. That's stupid. They're literally the exact same character, and IS had no care in the world to spoil who this character truly is. Alright? They didn't care. So why do they care here? It's so stupid. So there are various inconsistencies with how the voting works. Because you mean to tell me that one version gets allowed in and one doesn't? Also, fun fact, Altena, you couldn't vote for her before because she only showed up in like one piece of artwork in the game as like a backstory, which is why her art style is so different, because she's not a playable unit. But it's funny because now that she is, they use her Heroes artwork, but that's neither here nor there. Though the Heroes artist is the art, I believe, is the same artist who did all this, so you can tell the art style's kind of changed a little bit since then, huh? But either way, you get my point. And by the way, this isn't locked to just units that you play as. Back to this game, for instance, you can have Anna. You don't play as Anna in Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, from what I recall. And Emi is just a shopkeeper. George, perfect example here. George, even though he got botted in to be playable, George is just a shopkeeper. He's nothing else, right? Daniel, his brother, is a shopkeeper, nothing else. But you can still vote for him. You could still vote for them. So you could vote for NPCs, right? Which is fine. I think it's fine if you can vote for NPCs as long as they're genuinely loved. Obviously, I have no problem with characters that are genuinely loved. But you can play as characters who are villain. Like, you can vote for characters who are villains. Characters who are villains and literally do nothing, like Desmond. Several examples. So you can vote for anyone. And hey, if they make it high enough, well then there you go, right? GG. Though it is pretty stupid that with genealogy as an example, here we have Arvis, and then we have Arvis 2. Same thing with Finn. We have Finn 1 and Finn 2. So again, whichever version wins, right, or whichever version is voted the highest is the one that gets in. But still, it's pretty funny that they separate the Finns. That makes no sense. But now you get how this whole thing works, right? I hope I made it clear and very easy to understand. And the thing is that during the battle ballots, you have a midpoint where they show the current results halfway through Choose Your Legends. Now, this was shown last night, so by the time you're watching this, if you want to vote for the character that I'm voting for, and I beg that you vote for, because if you watch the, you'll know the video. But either way, after 4 votes, they put in the mid-poll results. And when it comes to the midway results, right, the current results, things get a little bit more interesting. Now I'll show you who I've been voting for, though if you've watched my previous 2 videos, you should already know who. Of course, I've been voting for Marth. I want Marth to win, purely because, one, he has been, how do we say, shafted of becoming a brave unit, right? Because I've explained it in that other video, so I highly recommend you watch it there to get the full understanding of why I've been voting for Marth. But Marth truly does deserve it, alright? He deserves it. I'm getting tired of this nonsense. Before, I would just vote for the Black Knight, but now I have to vote for Marth. I have to. So, if Marth wins this year, then, hear me out, I'm gonna start shilling the Black Knight for next year. And we're gonna win for the Black Knight. You hear me? But for right now, we're voting for Marth, because Marth deserves it. Alright, so now that you get the idea, and now you understand how voting works, bada boom, you vote for 3 times, you get this wallpaper, 6 times you get this wallpaper, and then if you vote all 7, you get 100 Nintendo premium coins, whatever. So now you understand how the event works, hopefully. And you could choose a random hero and it'll just select a character randomly for you, whatever. If you really don't care, you just want to get a luck of the draw. Alright, so let's close this out. So this is the midway results. Announcing the interim results for Choose Your Legends Round 5. How's your favorite heroes doing? Alright, so let's check out the women's division first. So the women's division, let's open these at separate tabs. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's close that out. We only need to see this. So let's go all the way to the bottom, and same with here. And we're gonna go from 20 to 1. So Mia has always been here, makes sense. Ingrid, expect a lot of 3 houses. I counted 19 3 houses between the male and females, so that's, you know, mind you, it shows you 40, right? 20 of females, 20 of males. That's a lot of 3 houses. Alright, Ingrid, alright, Tiki from Awakening, though, as you can see, they stack the versions, so why is Tiki from this game not counted the same as Tiki from the first game when they're literally the exact same character? Like, the only difference between the two is she's much older, that's it, but whatever. Nino has always kind of been here, so makes sense. Constance, new character, there you go. Saros, alright, and we're gonna get to something a bit later. Sothis, Plumeria, and Rhea. Obviously, look, you'll need a genius to tell you that these 2 characters look similar. That's because they're the same character. Obviously. You know, they literally look like the exact same. Alright? Yet they're split votes! I don't get it! I don't understand at all. Whatever. And then we have Harinette. This is the main protagonist's mother. So Alphonse and Sharena. You know, whatever, right? Okay, so the top 10. Tharja, always sort of been here. Dorothea, makes sense. Azura, always been here. Robin has always been here. Hilda, new, 3 houses. She was here last year, makes sense. Not surprised. Corrin has always been here. Female Corrin's always been dominant. Male Corrin hasn't gotten anything. That's what's so funny. Then we have Bernadetta at number 4. Then we have the top 3. So we have Marianne, we have female Byleth, and then we have Erica. Now this is usually how the source stuff works, based on past experiences. Usually the character who's number 1 usually stays number 1, right? They usually stay number 1. You know, Hector, Ike, who else? Dimitri, etc. They've always consistently stayed number 1. Never have they ever dropped down, from what I've seen, right? They've consistently stayed at number 1. So, fine. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But usually, it's number 2 that gets the boot sometimes. As an example, Camilla in year 2 was 2nd place, but then when the final results came out, Veronica went from 6th place all the way to 2nd. Like, it was crazy. So 2nd place always has a chance to change. Usually it's just 1st place that stays. It makes sense for Erica to show up, honestly. Ephraim already got his ult. It would make sense for Erica to have hers. You know, the siblings get, you know, their brave units, whatever. When it comes to this, I honestly expect any of these 3 to make it. Bernadetta could make it, Marianne, or female Byleth. Either way, one of these three is going to be our second place winner. I highly doubt Corin or Hilda's going to pull through. I genuinely believe it's going to be Bernadetta, Marianne, or Byleth. But okay, let's get to the males division. Here we have Caspar. I don't really know much. I don't really care about him. Reinhardt, who he was basically a meme pick. Second year, he was like top 5, but ever since then, even though Reinhardt himself is still relevant, no one really is about him anymore. So he keeps getting lower and lower. It is what it is, unfortunately, from Reinhardt. Then we have Itsuki and Chrom from Tokyo Mirage Sessions. People love Itsuki. I mean, I didn't play the game. All I know is the main theme song. So, yeah, that's fun. And then we have the Black Knight, my favorite character, like I said. I love the Black Knight, what can I say? And I'm glad he's here, but man, like, it's pain. And then we have Takumi, who I believe is the only Fates character featured. That's kind of funny. But Takumi always sort of been a dominant presence, so has always been in the top 20. Linhardt, I don't know why Linhardt's here, and for another character we'll get into, because like from what I hear, people hate Linhardt, like down to the bone, but I guess he has fans, I guess. Then we have Alphonse, the main protagonist of Heroes. People really like Alphonse nowadays, because, well, he's the only one that really gets any character development. Sigurd, the main protagonist of Genealogy, at least for the Gen 1 units. It's not a Pokemon reference. Sylvain, Soren, then we have Ashy, who's the second character everyone seems to hate. Budget Robin is what he's usually called from what I hear. Then we have Dedue, makes sense. Edelgard and Claude have their retainers. Why doesn't Dedue? But whatever. Then we have Selov, then we have Yuri, who's the main protagonist of the DLC for Three Houses. Then we have Robin, male, makes sense. We have Felix, then we have male Byleth, and then we have our top 3. Now, if you were to tell me this was going to be our top 3, you'd be lying. And yet, it seems to be the case. Marth, Gatekeeper, and Chrom. So, a little background. Gatekeeper was not in Choose Your Legends Round 4. He was added for this year's Choose Your Legends. And people really like Gatekeeper. Now, me personally, I don't agree with Gatekeeper being up here. That's just me. I think, personally, that the Lords are, in my opinion, most deserving because they are the main characters. They are the characters that you grow to love or hate, depending on if you're a fan of Corrin or not. You know, they are the characters that you will attach to the most because they're the characters you'll see the most. And Chrom and Marth, Marth for a lot of people seems like the generic, Lord, but he's not generic. He's honestly one of the most nuanced Lords in the entire series. He's better than most Lords that come after him. The only one that I would say are definitively better is literally Sigurd and Selov, right? Or arguably Leaf. Alright, but literally all the other ones that come after him, they just don't compare to Marth. Alright, and Chrom is full of personality. He's a gem of personality. Alright, he's funny, he's great, and here he is at 3rd place to Gatekeeper. Now here's the thing. I didn't play Three Houses too much. Barely at all. But I know that with Gatekeeper, he does have lines of dialogue, and you can talk to him, and you see his personality through discussions with him, and that's great. No, I love it. I find it funny. However, it really is kind of a meme in my opinion for him to be up here. But at the same time, I will say this. If he was just a meme, then I don't think he would have gotten as far as he has. Hear me out. We've had, for those who play Heroes, we've had several memes, meme picks for the game, right? There was Reinhardt, which, like I said, has been going down. There was Brigand Boss from Echoes. There have been several meme picks. But Gatekeeper is the only one that's in top 2. Why is this? Well, one, it's because he's a meme, from what I understand, both in the US and in Japan, basically all around the world, for people who've played Three Houses. People love the Gatekeeper, and he's in Smash as a cameo, right? He's in Smash Brothers as a cameo. That's great, that's cool, even Sauerkraut pointed it out. People love the Gatekeeper. Greetings, Professor, nothing to report. And I understand that if he was just a meme, he would not have gotten this far. He only got this far because people genuinely love that character. He wouldn't be a meme if people didn't genuinely love that character. And if it was just for the meme to have keepers as units, Abysskeeper would have been somewhere in this top 20, yet he's not. Why? Because he's just not as lovable as the Gatekeeper. So as much as we mock the idea of this guy beating any of these other characters, and Reinhardt, okay, no, I'm just kidding, Linhardt, anyways, moving on. As much as we can hate the idea that Gatekeeper is surpassing all these other characters, I'm not shocked. Like I said, if he wasn't a loved character, he wouldn't have made it this far. That's my opinion, that's how I see things. But in my personal opinion, I would want Marth and Chrom to win more so. Why? Because I like Chrom. I really do. But I want Marth to win more for 3 main reasons. 1, Marth is one of my favorite FE characters of all time. Definitely not the favorite. My personal favorite goes to the Black Knight. It used to be Dimitri, but then I'm just like, no man, the Black Knight's so much better. So the Black Knight is my favorite character in all Fire Emblem, then Dimitri, then it just goes down the list, right? Like there's no set order for the rest of them. The second reason why I want Marth, because I want his pantless variation that's based on FE1. Now yes, we did get a child version of Marth that does feature that design, but it's not the same. No, where's the shoulder pads, the goofy hair? It's just not there. And he has a sword called the Rapier. He doesn't have the falchion. It's just not the same. So Marth needs to win for me to have a pantless paradise. And the third reason is primarily because he got 3rd place so many times. I'm just getting tired of it. I want Marth to win. Those are my personal main reasons why I want Marth to win, personally speaking. The Gatekeeper should really be interesting. If Gatekeeper does win, if these top 2 end up being our top 2, I would most certainly be interested, for sure. That's going to be a very, very interesting discussion of how they might represent him. With that all being said, for those who are watching this who like FE Heroes, I highly advise, please don't harass people just because of so-so character got so-so place. It's not deserved at all. Alright, these are just fictional characters at the end of the day. There's no reason to be salty. Literally, the voice actor of the Gatekeeper, the English voice actor, has been getting harassed for no reason. Like, he has nothing to do with the votes. You know, it's just funny, haha, Gatekeeper. People love him. There's no, like, people are insane, genuinely. And when it comes to this, like, come on. It's treat others with the respect that you would like to be treated. That's all I ask. You know, there's always next year. Alright? There's always next year. It's not like a new Fire Emblem game, like a brand new. I do expect a remake, but I don't expect like a, you know, a brand new game with brand new characters to start showing up now. Right? I'm not gonna expect that now. And neither should you. We'll be fine. If Chrom doesn't win next year, you know what that means? That means he's guaranteed to at least win first the year after. Because guess what? Guess what? First place winners get special skills. They get special skills exclusive to them. And hey, wouldn't Chrom fans want that? I'm just saying. With that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. You know, let's try getting to 1,000 subs. I know we can make it. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace!
Coming through, partner, we can do this right. You're the fire, I'm the wind tonight. Burning dread.